We are back, and as you may have guessed, that's the Pitt Panther, or something like that. In any event, Pitt has the ball. It's 3rd down and 15. Ball on the 23-yard line. Kangemi, and deflected over here by Rory Perriman, intended for the tight end, Clint Wilson. He's 6'3", 230, a senior, and he's the man that had the broken foot. John Kangemi, right there, getting better and better as things go along, and I really like his attitude. Here are your stats at the end of 1 quarter.
Yards rushing, not too much, a lot more in the passing department, particularly for BC. There's the total amount. And while we look at those, another holding penalty called, this time against Pitt on the Kangemi rollout. His versatility and mobility is going to cause a lot of discipline for those offensive linemen not to hold and just to believe that he can escape that.
Well, they declined, Kyle, and that would have been the 4th penalty had they taken it. So what we have now is Bill Rudison, a freshman kicker, who's averaging about 36 yards a kick. And back in safety position, ready to receive the ball, here's Kelvin Martin. Martin at his own 35. Good kick by the freshman. Nice, pure spiral. Fielded at the 29. Back to the 40. To the 50. And Martin inside the 45 of Pitt. He's explosive, and the tackle was made by the kicker. Kelvin Martin, averaging 12.6 yards. A punt return, gets a beauty away, and we will have Boston in possession of the ball with a 3-0 Pitt lead when we return.
Guy spends $50 or $60 tuning up his car himself. Then he comes in here and says,
it still doesn't run right.
I say, did you change the spark plug wires? If the insulation is shot, nothing will make your car run properly. That's why I put in new Autolite power seals. The insulation is thicker than ordinary wires to seal in the power. They're so tough, these Autolite power seals are guaranteed for as long as you own your car. So why not put in Autolite power seals? They're thicker. They seal in the power.
Call any Air Express company and ask if they'll guarantee to give the exact status of your package within 30 minutes or your money back.
Yeah, well, the thing is...
Call someone else and ask if they'll guarantee to deliver your package on time or your money back.
Well, gee,
Then call Federal Express and ask us the same questions.
Absolutely, positively, or your money back, sir.
It's 3-0 Pitt here at Pitt Stadium, and so far the Pitt Panthers have held on in a real bang-busting type of a ball game. But watch Kelvin Martin, one of the best at punt returns.
Real deep threat on the wide receiver placement, but also in the punt return. He scored 2 touchdowns last year, one against Army. I think the second was against Syracuse. He had a real long one, 78, 80 yards on that one. Nice form tackle by Bill Rudison.
That was a 35-yard return. Martin with 2 punt returns, a total of 50 yards. 4 defensive backs in there right now for Pitt. And out of the I formation come the BC Eagles. That's Jim Bell. As he tries the left side, Dennis Attia, the nose guard, on the tackle, but he comes up behind blocks by Goetzke, Twombly, and Sean Regent.
Take a look at the sidelines. Kangemi getting the ankle taped. He's got bad ribs. It was last year, unfortunately, an ankle that hindered him much of the season. But we got another flag on the field. Be against Boston College.
Too many penalties already, and we saw this last week. It's hot, and of course, patience is not what it should be, and thus we've not had a pure game so far.
Illegal motion on the offense. First down.
Thank you, Joe. First down 15 is what we have coming up. Ball on the 48-yard line. 3-0 Pitt. Terrell Austin is in as a nickelback. They have 5 backs, and they drop Troy Washington deep as they give to Jim Bell, and he goes nowhere as he slips over the 50, inside the 50. And Steve Apke, who had 19 tackles against Purdue and 18 against Ohio State, made the hit right there.
Defensive secondary of Pitt really trying to feint what they're doing, trying to get Sean Halloran to audible at the line of scrimmage and throw the ball into double coverage. Can't really see it with the size of our picture, but in the backfield, they're really coming up trying to give Halloran a lot of false looks.
Second down and 16. Halloran with a good fake. Coming up is Giaquinto. Well, he did a nice job there, went to the 30 and then came back to the ball before Quentin Jones and Terrell Austin made the stop for a first down.
One of the successes in this Boston College passing offense is how well most of the routes are being run, and Giaquinto does it perfectly as he drives the cornerback back deep, and when he comes back, instead of squaring it off with about a 90-degree angle, makes it a much more acute angle, which means he is coming back towards the ball, and it means the secondary man has much further to come for the attempted interception.
Giaquinto, a 5'11", 190-pound senior who's an excellent baseball player. Jim Turner went out. Ken Bell back as the fullback, and Jim Bell in motion to the left side. Halloran underneath. And there's Gieselman. Oh, he's getting closer and closer to career catch number 100. Unofficially, that's number 98. It's Bill Callahan, who is right there. Gieselman is a pro prospect, 6'6", around 250.
One more time, Jim Bell goes out in the flat. Halloran looks in that direction. What he's really trying to do, though, is clear out the middle with the linebackers for the tight end. I don't know if they're ever going to throw it at Jim Bell. Here's Gieselman on the little loop, and on the defensive category, it's Tony Woods, number 90, who finds himself in no man's land on the short pass.
It's Kelvin Martin and Waddle doubling up on the wide side left. No one out here on the right side. They've got Gieselman on the line to block over the middle. Touchdown! And a touchdown goes to Kelvin Martin. Oh, what a sweet play Boston College just ran. Kelvin Martin with a slant in toward the post that time and being congratulated. He got inside of Quentin Jones and Terrell Austin, and the applause by his coach.
He saw the open of our show today. This is the exact same pass that Martin scored on last week against Maryland. Single coverage. The doubling up isn't able to come over in enough time as Halloran, off his back foot with good arm strength, gets the ball in there into the seam of the zone, and Martin knows precisely where to run and, of course, falls into the end zone.
David Rooney. And it's good, so BC has taken the lead as they go 4 plays, 49 yards, and they do it in a minute and 53. And right now it's BC 7, Pitt 3 on the USA Network.
Mobil 1 synthetic motor oil. The technology behind it gives this driver engine protection he can depend on. And this driver. And this driver. And this driver. Mobil synthetic oil technology. There's no finer engine protection on Earth or anywhere else.
Time out! Listen up, sports fans. This is important. Tri-State Trophies has moved from West Franklin Street to a brand new store at Columbia and Fulton. Of course, they're still at Woodland Center on the east side. Now that's some play. East side at Woodland Center, and now another new store at Columbia and Fulton. For the best selection of plaques and trophies around, it's Tri-State Trophies. Play ball. Tri-State Trophies, Woodland Center, and now at Columbia and Fulton.
We're back at Pitt Stadium, and Boston College now on the board. The score 7-3, 12:47 left in the first half. Very concerned defense. That's Bob Junko, the defensive linebacker coach. Coach Fazio, graying of hair. Imagine he has a lot more gray hair this year than he did 2 years ago before that 3-7-1 season last year.
There's your scoring summary. 4 plays, 43 yards in 153, and that's the 18-yard pass from Halloran to Martin. They hooked up twice last week and almost 2 more times who were called back. So that is his favorite receiver. And standing back deep now is Keith Tinsley. Tinsley with Darnell Stone and Anthony Brown, but Tinsley's the man in the middle, and he is a good one. He has 2 kickoff returns for 43 yards average. Watch him. He's got it. Not this time. He's really tripped up right there by David Shook. Not by David Shook, but by Kevin Sullivan, who's a strong safety.
Shook up by Kevin Sullivan.
No, David Shook. If he got shook up by Shook, he'd be getting shook up by his own man. All right, let's see what they can do. 7-3 Boston College with 12:42 to play here in the first half. Tom Brown and Charles Gladman. Tom Brown, 225 pounds, a junior. Gladman, 205, a sophomore. Matt Stennett in motion. Pitch back, Gladman. And still going over the 20. He hurdled the crowd that time. Ted Gaffney, one of the linebackers, was there. As Boston College having to get some help from the men outside the rush.
Excuse me, Eddie, that is really the bread and butter running play for Pitt. It's to the weak side. They send a man in motion and run the off tackle to the tailback to the weak side.
Carl, you just saw right there Callahan getting a call from the press box and how to read that coverage that Boston College has just scored on. He is the strong safety. Gladman. And at the 35-yard line, pulled down by Rory Perriman, a converted quarterback who has really got some very fine athletic skills. So a first down and 10 for Pitt.
Here it is. He can go off tackle, breaks it back the other way, breaking to daylight. And here's Perryman, who's got tremendous size and speed. Perryman, 221 pounds. Not too many folks going to outrace him.
That is the 5th first down for Pitt this afternoon. 2 rushing, 2 passing, and 1 on a penalty. First and 10, ball at the 35. Pitt trails at 7-3. Matt Stennett in motion. Conjemi from Florida to pass. Lets it go. Scales is there, and he overleads him by 2 yards. He had his man beat, and his man was Garrick McPherson. And Chuck Scales, who can fly as well as play a pretty mean piano and do a pretty good job as a pre-med student, was there, but Conjemi could not hit him.
Taking a look at the statistics for John Conjemi. Only has a few more yards to go, yards that he should get in this ball game to move into that higher level. The all-time passing yardage. He has no chance to catch Dan Marino. I don't think anybody does, Eddie.
Second and 10. I doubt that that'll happen. I really do. Conjemi is 3 of 7 for 36. Play action. And they tried to turn Stewart in and find a seam, but the pass was not there. And Conjemi's passing right now, not where it ought to be. 7-3. Boston College leading Pitt. Conjemi has been intercepted 3 times this year. But he's also had 3 touchdown passes. Dwayne Malloy and Matt Stennett are in for Pitt.
Give you an idea of how far Dan Marino is ahead of everyone else. Conjemi is right around 3,300 yards. Marino has 8,500 yards.
11:55 to play here in the half. 7-3 Boston College. Conjemi wants to go again to the air. Good rush. And pull down.
Guess who?
You got it. The man with the hammers hanging from the body there. Those 2 big anvils that hang off the shoulders. Mike Ruth.
Take a look at Mike Ruth over the center. He's double teamed, which is nothing unusual. Ruth continues to fight to the outside, and he's kind of the delay man. He's still playing off 2 blocks, uses that good lateral speed, is able to come through and make the tackle.
Bill Rudison on a 4th down and 13 to punt. He's got 1 kick for 49 yards. Kelvin Martin at his 25-yard line, looking up into a glaring sun. It's a hazy sort of a glare. Shades himself, and he'll down it right there on a fair catch at the 16-yard line.
Well, I'm sure he was told to fair catch that one. Boston College went for the block. They got very close. And we're going to take a break, and we'll be back with more Pitt-Boston College after this.
This Jeep Cherokee has some amazing things going for it. Room for 5 adults or 71 cubic feet of cargo. Doors, your choice of 2 or 4. Drive, 2 or 4-wheel shift on the fly. Power from a torquey 2.5-liter engine. But most important, this Cherokee is all Jeep. Body and soul.
There's a hurricane watch in Foxborough, Massachusetts. The hurricane is composed of a double-barreled explosive backfield, a swirling aerial attack, and a cold defensive front. In Boston, they're not evacuating. They're ready to soar through the hurricane. The forecast? Stormy skies, turbulent air, and substantial ground destruction. Good visibility on USA Sports. The Miami Hurricanes meet the Boston College Eagles live next Saturday.
We're at Pitt today. Next week, back at Boston College. In fact, in Foxborough. And it'll be BC and Miami. And I don't know if it's going to be anything like what they had last year. Without Doug Flutie, it might be a little different, but it should be good. It's 7-3 here. We have 11:09 to play in the half. Boston College scoring on a touchdown pass, 18 yards to Kelvin Martin from Halloran after Pitt kicked the field goal at 23 yards with 5:47 in the first quarter. Halloran. And he has got his man. Another completion. Kelvin Martin again. Oh, boy. And that time he beat the right corner, John Lewis, a 5'10", 180-pound senior.
John Lewis has got to respect his speed deep. He moves to the inside, gets his legs turned the other way, then breaks it to the outside. And John Lewis does what every cornerback should never do, and that is turn his back to the quarterback. But it was primarily because Kelvin Martin ran a great pattern and got him to sidestep inside.
First down and 10. Martin averaging over 15 yards a catch coming into this one today. 11:02 to play. 7-3 BC. Halloran again. Martin again. 35. And they are exciting the game as Quentin Jones made the stop.
What a good indication for Sean Halloran, and that's why they're going to celebrate with him, because Kelvin Martin was the third receiver on this pattern. They were setting up the tight end pass again to Gieselman or Casparillo. They had also Bell out in the flat as kind of the secondary receiver, and Kelvin Martin, though, was able to find himself in some space, and a good throw by Halloran.
Sean Murphy goes out. Tom Waddle comes in for BC. Murphy has Martin now 3 catches for 63 yards. They take the tight end and switch him over to the left side. Good block right there by Ken Bell. And throwing the ball out of bounds at the 22-yard line was Sean Halloran. Well, what a rush that time by Pitt.
Excuse me, Eddie. For sure, Sean Halloran was throwing that away. He's going to, of course, claim that he and Kelvin Martin didn't read the defense together the way they should, and he threw the ball to the outside. Martin broke to the inside to the post rather than to the flag, and that's why the pass was to nobody.
Second down and 10, ball on the 34-yard line. Second down and 10. Waddle is stretched out to the far side. In motion outside of him is Chuck Gregory. Ken Bell the block. Good rush by Pitt. And complete. Gieselman, 15, runs over man at the 10 and down to the 8-yard line. Steve Apke from Cincinnati, Ohio, had to get over there and help the free safety Troy Washington. But watch this Gieselman.
Take a look again, the looping move towards the secondary, turns with a turnaround like every good receiver does. When he doesn't get the ball with his first break, continues to move to find space. Halloran is able to find him. He double tucks the ball inside to prevent the fumble, and they're down inside the 10.
Halloran 11 for 15 unofficially, 188 yards. He is hot today. First down, ball on the 8-yard line. In motion, Martin. Give it back to Bell. That's Jim Bell. Slides outside. Going to the flag. He's got it. A 2-yard plunge when he saw that pylon. And Jimmy Bell with some good outside blocking, rolling to the left side. And BC's on the board again.
Well, Bell had half the Eagle team out in front of him. He sets up the blocks, though, by the sun inside, then uses that sprinter speed to get outside, reads one more block, and able to move into the end zone, gets just inside the pylon, and Jim Bell goes about 40 yards to get a 2-yard touchdown, but it was worth it.
Waddle to hold, Rooney to kick, an 8-yard run. In the air, Boston College 14, Pitt 3. We have 9:53 to play here in the first half. And a surprise. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Test pilot Chuck Yeager for AC Delco.
Up here, power when you need it can save your neck. When you get back down to your car, it helps too. Today, smaller engines need extra firepower from a spark plug. And AC delivers. If you could look inside your engine, you'd see an AC spark plug delivering up to 30,000 volts. Firing 30 times a second. Firepower when you need it from AC.
Call 800 AC Delco for a retailer near you.
Never wait for trouble.
Oh, no.
If weight control has had more gain in your life than loss, it's time to call Physicians Weight Loss Center. Our fully trained medical staff will introduce you to a safe program which trims pounds off for life. And we guarantee 3 to 7 pounds off per week in writing. All of this available on a low-cal budget, and we'll pay your medical fees. That's right, the medical fees are on us and guaranteed. So call today to reduce a sizable problem.
Great.
Physicians Weight Loss Center.
We are back at Pitt Stadium, and a stunned crowd sits as Boston College goes to a 14-3 lead. That tower on the left, incidentally, is the highest tower of learning in the nation. That is a classroom building. Students go to class in that building, and it's, as I said, I don't know how many stories it
42.
is. Yeah, it's great. This is a terrific school, known for their medical research. A lot of liver transplants are done here. Of course, the Salk Foundation, part of the campus scene here at the University of Pittsburgh. Very rich in tradition, and thus a celebration of tradition. That's the theme this year. Keith Tinsley wants to celebrate right now. He's standing back. David Rooney will kick. It's Tinsley along with Anthony Brown and Darnell Stone, but Tinsley's the man in the middle. 9:53 and a half. Here we go. And again, Tinsley plants his foot at the 1. Back to the 15, knifes to the 20, and down right there. Willie Hislop was in to make the tackle. He's a reserve running back. Brian Davis is coming in now. There's the freshman running back we talked about. Now, Kyle, he's had a lot of problems with hamstring pulls. What they're doing with him, as we see the PC Eagles, is that they're letting him wear, you know those tights that sprinters wear in track? Those nylon tights?
What you're saying is he's wearing women's nylons, right?
Yes.
That's a nice way of saying that.
And I'm not going to argue with him about it either.
Well, if Joe Namath could do it, who's to say that he can't?
5'11", 195-pounder. He is recruited heavily, and now we're going to get another penalty.
We've got another offsides on the kicking for Boston College. They're going to bring it all the way back because the return was not very good for Pitt. So the ball will be moved back another 5 yards.
All right, we're going to bring him back. And Boston College will kick it again. So they'll try it from the 35, and we'll have to wait to tell you about Brian Davis. I'm anxious to see him. They had a tremendous recruiting year here at Pitt, and Davis is right at the top of the blue chip talent. David Rooney, he's a freshman from Miramar, Florida, and he is the man, after a lot of quibbling and trying to figure out what they were going to do, has been given the kicking job for the remainder of the year.
Well, that's important because they decided to live or die with one person, and that's going to take some pressure off of him.
From the 3, Tinsley to the 20, 25. He's a big play guy. He breaks it to the 35 and out to the 39-yard line. Willie Hislop, who is playing with a pull muscle in the lower back. But he is brought down. Tinsley trying to pump him up.
He's trying to say, guys, I can't do it in the offense. You're going to have to do it. And he makes the run, breaks through. Hislop comes from the far side. There he is, 25 from the left side. Was able to knock him down, but he picked up a great gain. Good field position. Now for Pitt, their best field position on a possession.
Anthony Brown is injured. He comes out of there. Brian Davis is in along with Ezekiel Gadsden. So the young man from, get this one, Frogmire, South Carolina, 6'1", 215, Ezekiel Gadsden, with Brian Davis, the freshman from Washington, PA, the running back tandem.
That's A.B. Brown there you're looking at.
In motion comes Chuck Scales. We told you Brown was hurt. And there he is. And the crowd wanting to see this young man they've heard so much about. Bill Romanowski, brilliant running back, and they're checking out Anthony Brown's shin.
When you're looking there, you're looking for ligaments, perhaps a hyperextension, looking at the patella there. Covers the knee.
Pickup of 3 by young Brian Davis. 2nd down and 7. Ball at the 42. Davis again. He gets a second breath, and he moves it over the 45-yard line. I don't know how he broke himself loose. John Boza made the tackle, but boy, he got nailed about 4 yards after he got the ball, and then still managed to get some extra yards.
And the extra yardage is what got him to the first down.
1st down and 10. He needed 7 yards. He got it. Matt Stennett is in. Chuck Scales is out for Pitt. Stennett, 6 feet, 181. Scales, 5'11", 195. Scales stretches out right. Down to the near side comes number 24. Now they've got Stennett in motion. He's still in there. 4 back coverage. Pressman covers Scales. And a flag thrown on the play. It's a direct give, and up over the middle they go with Nickerson tackling Brian Davis. Oh, he has looked impressive in 3 carries so far. Rick Nickerson, outside backer. And a procedure call against the University of Pittsburgh.
Not that much of a surprise to see Davis in the ball game, not only because he's got a tremendous amount of potential, but in the game last week against Ohio State, quite often they rotated their backfields. They've got 2 good sets of fullbacks, at least 2 tailbacks that are outstanding, if not more. Take a listen.
Procedure, 6 men on the line of scrimmage. First down.
1 man shy, huh?
So Randy Dixon.
Yeah. Randy think he was going to run the ball?
I don't know what he was.
Pitt with 4 penalties for 30 yards. Scales in motion. 1st and 15. Ball on the 44. Oh, what a catch! What a catch by Michael Stewart. Sophomore from Norwich, Connecticut. Last year, broken collarbone. This year, plenty healthy.
Boy, is that a surprise.
Yes, sir.
Memphis State hasn't lost yet, but they've played so poorly in 2 ball games.
Indiana, they say they're ready to play in 85. Had a win last week over Louisville. 2nd down 4. Ball on the 45-yard line. In motion this time goes Dwayne Malloy for the first time. Brian Davis. Davis inside the 40 to the 38. Bill Romanowski was in.
Got another flag, though.
Kyle Creshpain also. Flag thrown. Kyle, I can see a little bit why now. As we a holding call against Pitt. Penalty number 5 for a total of 40 yards.
Take a look at Bill Romanowski. Moves inside, covers the hole, then moves to the outside with the lateral ability, comes across, makes the tackle, but we did have a holding call against number 84, Clint Wilson, for Pitt.
Holding on the offense. 2nd down.
Kind of nice in college. They don't tell you what number it was, but it was pretty clear that it was Clint Wilson, number 84.
You know, with a 3rd down and 15, I can see why now that Brian Davis had 4,478 yards in his high school career. Boy, he's terrific. All right, 2nd down and 15. And Jimmy to throw. And almost taken away by Neil Eiten. He has 1 interception so far. Not very big, 5'9", 185 pounds, a senior.
But Jimmy is one of few passers who's able to roll to his left and throw the ball quite well. The pattern is read by Eiten. He's got a little bit of help deep so he can make the break early. And was there. He would have had 6 had he been able to hold on to it.
3rd down, 14. There's Neil Eiten, the senior cornerback. Stewart comes out of there. Chucky Scales to the near side. On the far side is Matt Sennett. Running backs are Gadsden and Brian Davis, a sophomore and a freshman. And Jimmy on a long count. Good. To the 45-yard line. To the tight end, Clint Wilson, and Rory Perriman pulls him down. Ball is spotted at the 44 now.
Still not enough for the first down.
3 yards is what they need.
So Bill Rudison will come in to punt. And Jimmy comes off the field. Got the ball to the tight end. Had single coverage on his wide receiver. But he was covered well. So Jimmy did what he had to do. Got it to the open man, but it wasn't enough.
Kelvin Martin will get back to receive Rudison's kick. He's averaging about 51 yards a kick today. And he'll boom this one to the end zone. Rudison has done an outstanding job with a very slight wind behind him. And that means that Boston College will take over. 14-3, Boston College over Pitt with 7:04 to play here in the first half. At halftime today, we're going to take a look at tradition at the University of Pittsburgh. We'll have our Wall Street Journal weekend memo and our first half highlights and statistics, and it's all coming up at halftime today. The word is we have a slight sprain of the knee for Anthony Brown. So Dr. Rote, you were right. They were checking that knee out. As we look into Pitt Stadium, it seats 55 or 56,000 and change, about 56.5. Last year, they only averaged 38 in that 3-7-1 season, but the year before that, they averaged 52,000. And over the years, they've had some magnificent players, and today they're honoring Tony Dorsett by giving away replicas of his jersey.
And I noticed that you were the first person in line. You've got two number 33s in blue and gold to be taken back to California.
Got to take care of Brett and Corey. 14-3 is what we have. We have 7:04, as I mentioned. Boston College coming back after Pitt struck early at 5:47 of the first quarter on a 23-yard field goal by Mark Brasco. And then BC comes back on a scoring strike, an 18-yarder to Kelvin Martin, and then an 8-yard run by Jimmy Bell.
Talked about some of the disappointment last year. One of the things that Fazio did this year was he fired 5 assistants. He's got 5 new assistant coaches. But Jimmy really controls, I think, the destiny of Fazio. If he has a good year, so will the Panthers, and so will Fazio.
Sean Halloran now at the throttle. Kenny Bell back there, and he'll give it a Bell. That readout screen. Up to the 30. To the 35, to the 37 or 8-yard line. Whoa. And a little extra mileage right there. Dennis Attia is there on the talk along with Bill Stapio.
Well, what Kenny Bell does so well here is he sets up his blocks. He does make a nice reception, but watch the setup, moves to the inside, then comes to the outside, really takes the defense out of the play, spins and gets some extra yardage, but he picked up about another 10 because of that. Unfortunately, that will all come back because we did have a penalty against Boston College.
What is it?
Holding. Offense. First down.
Tell you what, he's going to have surgery on his elbow. He's given the holding call so many times today.
Well, they have 4 for 25 yards. Pitt has 5 for 40. Terrell Austin is in the ball game. Give it to Jim Bell, and he's running well. Over the 20, out to the 24-yard line. Jim Bell, and he is filling for Troy Stratford, who is out again this week. Troy Washington, the freshman free safety, is there to make the hit. Jack Bicknell flashing signs out to his quarterback. 2nd down and 7, as they have just about obliterated the penalty, and now are working on that first down. Vincent Munn, as we look here at number 33, Ken Bell, or Jim Bell. And Jimmy Bell gets himself a little running room.
A lot of players, Eddie, that are sprinters, and as you mentioned several times, Bell, the 200-meter high school champion in Connecticut, sprinters don't have that juking ability. That's one nice thing about Jimmy Bell. He's not only has the out-and-out speed when he gets out in the open in the secondary, but he's got the ability to feint and to get the extra yardage that way, too.
All right, now Jimmy Bell has 8 carries for 46 yards. So doing a nice job filling for the injured Troy Stratford. 11 of 15, 188. Good day for Sean Howard. Walter Johnson has replaced Terrell Austin, and they're out of the nickelback set and up to the 30-yard line. They needed 3. The ball was on the 27. It'll be very close to a first down, and they'll have to measure. Bill Sapio, a defensive end who missed last week with a sprained ankle.
They need to get Jim Bell out of there. There he goes, number 33, because he's carried the ball the last 3 times. Bicknell saw that. They're going to get a fresh running back in there.
Serafino Fazio. And we have a first down and 10. Brian Shields has replaced Matt Lavinia at one of the linebacker spots for Pitt. That defense has been on the field a while. Sean Halloran under a rush. And that read screen again, Ken Bell. And to the 31 and no more. Well, that's one of Boston College's favorite ploys, and you'll see it a lot, Kyle, that read screen.
Try to use the passing game today in modern college football, more of a controlled passing game than always throwing deep. And and using a lot of receivers. The favorite receivers really for most schools today are the tight ends and the running backs, the tailbacks coming out of the backfield.
Walter Johnson comes out for Pitt. John Carter comes in. It's a 2nd down and 5. I didn't think he got that many. I don't think that's right, is it? 2nd down and 9. That's what it is. As they go close to the 40 to Tom Waddle. He's another from Cincinnati Moeller. That school down there in Cincinnati was such a tremendous high school tradition. Brian Shields, linebacker, and Bill Callahan, the strong safety on the tackle.
Halloran clapping because his team got another 1st down, again just by inches. But they've been able to drive every time they've had the ball. The Pitt defense has not done the job. True, Boston College missed a field goal. Yes, they missed on the fake field goal. They scored 2 touchdowns, but all 4 drives up to this point, they've been able to move the ball well against the Pitt defense.
A shift to the eye with Ken Bell up and Jim Bell, the tailback. Halloran. And he came back without the ball. And another flag. Halloran is 14 for 18 for 202 yards unofficially. And again, another penalty. Boston College 14, Pitt 3.
Well, the receivers and Halloran thought the count was one thing, and all the linemen thought it was something else.
Red ball, illegal procedure on the offense. 1st down.
1st down, 15. 5 defensive backs are in for Pitt. Make it 6. Brian Shields has come out. Billy Owens has come in. He's the sometimes running back. Halloran. Behind, good blocking. And not quite to the 50, or just about to the 50, as Kelvin Martin run out of bounds by Tinsley, and he ran a nice pattern.
Well, really good play conceptually. It's known as a moving pocket. Halloran drops back. It looks like a drop back, but he's getting blocking to the outside to allow him to run towards Martin and make the pass. And again, Martin with a nice comeback route to the sideline, and that's a pass that's very difficult to intercept.
Walter Johnson checks into the defensive tackle. Out comes Billy Owens. Terrell Austin is out for Pitt. A 2nd down and 1. Flutie is in the ball game for Boston College. Martin has 82 yards, 4 catches, and a touchdown so far. Complete and down to the 45-yard line. Jim Bell, Apke, and Brian Shields, bookend linebackers, come over to make the stop. And Boston College mixing up their offense very nicely and chewing up some yardage.
Driving that man to the right of your screen crazy, Foge Fazio, as 4 receivers went out that time, and Halloran continues to gain experience and be able to read that defense better and better. He continues to hit the open man. Today is really his day.
Giaquinto in motion. Terrell Austin comes in. Out comes Walter Johnson for the Pitt Panther defense. 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line. Little misdirection right there as they go to, I believe it was Tracy Giles, or was that Jimmy Bell? Tracy Giles got the call, and John Carter on the tackle. Number 89, watch it.
Take a look at the defensive line playing the blocking up front. 58 was Gowetzky, and he's able to put a man down on the ground.
They got a nice little help in there by Dennis Attia, who made the initial hit. 2nd down 8, ball on the 43. 2nd quarter, and ticking down to 2:30 to play here in the half. 14-3 BC. To the 35-yard line. It'll take more to bring that big guy down, more than one, that is. And that's right, Callahan with Apke and Johnny Lewis pulling down Big Scott Gieselman, who has 9 career touchdowns and is a horse.
Halloran throws all the wide outs to the wide side of the field, comes back with Gieselman, and Gieselman with his size, 6'6", about 250, is going to out-jump most people. So all Halloran has to do is loft it out there, and at least it will not be intercepted because Gieselman will be able to play the ball much like a center fielder would.
Sapio and Owens have come out of there, and in comes Brian Shields and Tony Woods for Pitt on their defensive alignment. Measurement, 1st and 10, Boston College. Ball on the 35-yard line. BC picking up those 1st downs.
The indigestion is on the other side of the field. It's not for Big Bell.
They have 13 first downs and 11 by passing. Sean Dombrowski and Gieselman switch sides. They jump back to the I formation. First and 10 at the 35-yard line. Jimmy Bell. And Big Tony Woods hauled him down.
Most of their running plays picking up 3 or 4 yards, then they come back with a short pass that gets 6 or 7 and gets them another first down. Nothing spectacular, but very much ball control. And Eddie, as we said at the top of the show, extremely important because they're keeping the BC defense on the sidelines and giving them a chance to rest.
Ryan Shields has come out. Billy Owens has come in. They go to a 6-back set. Halloran 16 for 22 or 21 with 228 yards and a touchdown and a lead. 2nd and 7. And at the 27-yard line, and another flag thrown. Something may have been involving Apke or Gieselman or Jim Bell. They were all around the ball. We'll have to wait to see what it is. Dennis Attia talking to the official. Keith Tinsley was involved in that play. Got to turn that mic on, huh?
Yeah. A little pushing by one of the Boston College receivers in the pattern.
Bill Sapio replaces Dennis Attia. Yeah, it's a big one. And the penalties continue to hurt both teams. Referee, you're on.
Pass interference on the offense. Loss of down. 3rd down.
That one really hurt because, as he said, loss of down. Offensive pass interference.
And the distance. There's a little pushing right there by Gieselman. And the ball now all the way back on the 47.
3rd down, 32. They've had success on 3rd down conversions, though. Sean Halloran and Kelvin Martin has made a beautiful catch. Under pressure by the rookie free safety, Troy Washington.
This is why the Boston College offense, Halloran's having a great day. Don't mistake that. But the way they set up the passing game, it allows Halloran to sprint out behind the tackle. He moves out, now has the passing lane totally open, can see Martin all the way. Makes a nice toss, and of course Martin with a tremendous catch.
And Halloran is cooking on those 3rd down conversions. He's 5 for 9. Martin 5 catches now for 111 yards. 14-3, 1st and 10 on the 18-yard line. Good penetration by Pitt defensively. And that is Walter Johnson. Big Walter, 6'2½", 250 from Pahokee, Florida.
Take a look for Johnson. He'll be number 59. There he is, 2nd in 1984 in sacks. Fights off the block, comes in, and Halloran knocked down for the first time. Pitt, with the blitz, for the first time was able to get to Halloran.
How about that for a hometown, huh? Pahokee. 14-3, 31 seconds to play in the half. And we have a timeout called by Boston College. Jack Bicknell going to think it over. The band is getting ready, and USA is on location again today. Timeout. Boston College 14, Pitt 3, 31 seconds to play in the half. Boy, these kids practice harder than the football players. They were out here until about 11 last night and in here at 7 this morning.
That tells you how long we were here, too.
Well, we don't want to talk about that. 14-3, Boston College with 31 seconds to play in the first half. Eddie Doucette and Kyle Rowe Jr. Incidentally, Boston College's last win over Pitt came on October 23rd, 1971, and that was a 40-22 ball game. The last and only win here at Pitt Stadium, 21-6, November 4th, 1970. So Halloran figures his team's way overdue.
Talk about this stadium. Sports Illustrated said earlier in their preseason bit that this was the 2nd worst stadium in college football. Not a very nice distinction. Nebraska, of course, first, but they've sold out something like 140 consecutive games out in Cornhusker land, so apparently the fans don't mind it.
On the delay, Tracy Childs. Steve Apke, the linebacker, on the hit. Clock ticking away. We're under 20 seconds, down to 17.
Let's take a look at Steve Apke, number 50, as he comes up. They're rushing into lanes, and Apke is there. Moved in from defensive end, where he was a 2-year letterman, and now really feeling very comfortable at the linebacker spot.
Another flag, down to 3 seconds. What do we have there, Kyle? Motion?
Legal, yeah, motion.